What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rice Rocketeer. Thanks for tuning in. Today is yet another sunset video, guys. I'm falling in love with this period of the day that is called sunset. I used to be in restaurants while this was happening, so I never got to enjoy it on a bike, and now I am. So I took the Indian out for a very relaxed evening ride. Guys, today's video is something I've done before, like a year ago, but I figured it was time to do kind of like a refresher for everybody who's new to the channel, to everyone who's just subscribed, and it's kind of like my ethos on motorcycling, motorcycle riding, and why I do it, why I love it, why I try to share it with everybody who I come in contact with, guys. I'm a firm believer that two wheels makes for a happier life, so I'm going to tell you why. If you haven't subscribed, guys, make sure to do it. Click that subscribe button, and to everybody who has subscribed, thank you so much. So let's go. Get out of this before I start yammering away. Alright, guys, so the reason I love motorcycling. Guys, if you were on the fence about buying a motorcycle, let me just tell you, your life will get exponentially better once you get a bike. Everything changes. Your perspective on life, your commutes to work, you know, the rate at which you live your life, especially if you're in a city like this one, like New York City, your life will get exponentially better, and I promise you that. Now, I am a strong advocate for motorcycles. I think that, you know, they get a bad rap, and they get a bad rap for a number of reasons, but due to a very small demographic of people who ride motorcycles, there's many responsible riders out there, and there are many friendly and very lovely riders out there. Come on, man, let's go. And it's not nearly as intimidating as you might think. I was one of those people who really, like, you know, just felt that I wouldn't fit in once I got a motorcycle. I'm not really, like, you know, from that type of life that I would ride a motorcycle. But, you know, the more you get into it, the more people you meet, you realize that it is a very eclectic group of people. Very eclectic group that rides motorcycles. It's not just one type of person. It's everybody under the sun. People who all have one thing in common, that is to enjoy life, to get the most out of life. So I have absolutely, I can say, you know, without any hesitation, that having a motorcycle, this whole experience, having this vlog the past couple of years on two wheels, has greatly improved my life, not only socially, but just in terms of mental clarity, maturity, and overall happiness, guys. I think, you know, like, I am from Manhattan. I'm from the city, and my whole life I grew up in this concrete jungle. And while there are many things that are great about this city, there's many things that are not. And as I got older, one of the things that I realized was, or that I grew to think, that I've come to think, is that there's something unhealthy mentally about growing up in this grid of concrete where everything is kind of meant to keep you within it. It's you know, as you get older, you feel this in many ways, no matter where you are. But you know, the physical representation of restrictions in New York City is vast. It's never ending. There's something about the systematic way it's laid out, somewhat systematic, and most of it, except for downtown. The fact that you have to get on public transportation, which is always delayed. Like, you have very little control over the things around you, the things that happen, and just all the forces, right? And that's the same anywhere in life. I feel there's a physical representation of that concept here in the city. But anywhere you are in life, there are so many things that you cannot control, and so many things that you are kind of at the mercy of, that for me, I found that any way I can minimize that feeling will increase my psychological potential. Because there is nothing, and by that I mean, if you go through life feeling that you are at the mercy of the other forces that be, you kind of slide into this place, this area, this mindset of like, well, I can't really change that, right? And this was very evident to me when working in restaurants. There are so many people, when I was managing, people were always late. It is a common thing in New York because most of the people who work in restaurants are from deep Queens, they're from the Bronx, they're from Brooklyn, they're from places that are only accessible, well, it's not true, but mainly accessible by public transport. And so I would always hear that excuse. And in fine dining and Michelin restaurants, there is no excuse for being late. And I always had this kind of pit in my stomach of like, these people I'm telling people that what they're saying is not acceptable, but I know it is in fact the truth. And I know because it is the truth, they've spent many years of their lives under the impression that they cannot change certain things in their life. And I hate that idea that people are kind of cultivated or groomed, if you will, to believe that there are certain things that are just out of our control, such as transportation. It's like the worst feeling. So you go to and from work in a way that you don't feel in control, to be in a place where you have to abide by rules that are not set by you, so you're furthermore not in control. Like, what does that do to you psychologically long term, right? I think it's unhealthy. And even though being on a bike, you don't have complete freedom, right? It's, as I said in a previous video, maybe a couple weeks ago, it's kind of the illusion of freedom. Because I'm like, oh, well, I can get around traffic, I can do this, I can do that. But really, I mean, like, traffic still does affect me. So I'm not completely free, but I have the illusion of freedom, and I have slight control. And I'll take slight control over no control. That's the main reason I love riding my motorcycle, and really why I ride anything, whether it's a bicycle or rollerblades. I don't rollerblade. I haven't rollerbladed since I was like 12, but you understand my point. Is that little bit of freedom of how you move your body to get from point A to point B is everything. If you start your day on the train where there's a delay and you're stuck in a subway car like sardines, you're already set up for failure for the day, That's how I feel. And that's why I try to share it with everybody. When I tell everybody, yeah, absolutely, some people are limited to public transportation and having to take it, but I don't know, my priorities switched a couple years ago, and I said I absolutely have to have my own means to get to and from work, to get anywhere in the city. Spending my whole life here, I just felt like I was kind of wasting away. Just couldn't stand it. So I guess that's a very I don't know what kind of answer that is to the question of why do I ride motorcycles, but that is the main reason. It is not for any simplistic reason of like, oh, well, it saves me money or it saves me time, right? Those are all justifications we tell ourselves in order to make it okay to drop a bunch of money on a motorcycle, but those actually are in fact not true. If you ride a motorcycle, both of those statements are absolutely not true. Owning a motorcycle does not save you money. Owning a motorcycle does not save you time. It does get you from point A to B quicker, but the amount of time you spend worrying about your bike, making sure you got the right gear, making sure you got the lock, make sure you're set, it all adds up, and you might as well have taken the subway. But the only difference is in the process of getting to wherever I need to go, I got to feel alive, and I got to feel in control for just a small period of the day, and that is everything to me. I don't know if everybody else feels as strongly, but I really, that is so important to me and to my mental health, to be able to be the best version of myself, is to feel somewhat liberated from the monotonous, grueling grind of life, and more specifically, the monotonous city life. There's no way that I would be able to remain sane. So that is my grand explanation, guys. I actually, when I started this new job that I have, I started taking the train again. I haven't taken the train in 3 years, and that's a lie. Like, I've taken it here or there, but like regularly. I haven't, for the whole week, consistently taken the train, and I did that, and it's really not all that far from me in Brooklyn. It's like one transfer, but I gotta say, I became so anxious on that Friday that I just, like, I was standing at Grand Central waiting for the transfer. People were all bumping into each other. I was, getting back to my old typical city self, just being angry all the time and looking at everybody bumping into me and being like, what the hell, man? And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do it anymore. This is awful. Like, I'm going to a desk job, no less. Like, it was different when I was going to restaurants because it's a social job, so I went into, hopefully redeeming whatever bad experience I had. And, but going to a desk job, like, if I go from a bad commute, and I'm sure a majority of you guys know this, like, if you go from a bad commute to, like, sitting at a desk and crunching some numbers, it's just, what's the point of living? Why am I even here? Just to get enough money so that I can pay this overpriced rent and have just a little bit left over. Like, no thank you. So that's what this bike gives me, is just this peace of mind. It gives me a little bit of excitement at the beginning, like 15-20 minutes of excitement before I go into that job, 15-20 minutes after, but it makes a world of difference to my life. So that is why I ride motorcycles. That is why I think you should. Since nobody asked. We're at One World Trade. Sun is starting to go down. I still got my ND filter on. It's likely going to get a little bit dark, guys, but we'll try to make this entertaining. For the rest of the video, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to enjoy the sound of the bike and let you enjoy the sound of the bike. Oh, hello. I don't have my tinted visor on today. I feel rather in tune with Mother Nature. This cool air, I'm loving it. I'm really hoping this guy isn't here for me. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, officer. Tunnel, guys, let's go. And that is why I ride. Oh, that felt so good. That was such a nice strip, like perfect speed, perfect amount of traffic, just enough to make sure that you're awake. Oh, what a day. What a great day. And the dogs are playing in the park, guys. It is a beautiful day. The guy's hopping like a dog. I don't quite know what's going on there, but I'm not gonna lie, I've done the same with my dog, so no judgment. What a great end to the day. Back into Midtown, my friend's gonna try to get on 3rd Ave and head on over to Queens. Oh, this bike is so rewarding. This V-twin, guys, I'm liking this V-twin lifestyle. Right now we're right by the UN, which is, I'm always kind of weirded out by this area. This is where all the hotels are. Like from here over, like this block and down and further down is all Midtown stuff, and then back this way is all kind of hotels and places for politicians and people who are coming, foreign leaders and stuff to stay. So it's kind of like a ghost town over here with a lot of security cameras and a lot of hidden security. Alright guys, last leg here. Sorry, my as I've said before, my GoPro, I'm having trouble with my GoPro, guys. Gotta look into that. I don't know how a store like this stays in business, guys. It's a wig store right on the bridge. Like, who gets off the bridge and is like, God, I need a wig? I don't understand. It's got to be a front for something. Got to be a front. Unless this is like where all wig people live. Who knows? fridge. Wow, engine kind of gurgled there for a minute. Woohoo! White Brewery, guys. Well, all right. All right, guys. That's my little rant for the day, my little share for the day. I wanted to for all you new guys, again, I wanted to share my philosophy behind riding and why I do what I do, why I ride so goddamn much, and why I guess I have 2 bikes now. Thanks for tuning in for this little escapade, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.